everyone, it's Melissa from the Devil's Workshop. Welcome back to our Back to Basics series. Today we're going to be cutting metal. Very exciting. For those of you who have not watched our How to Thread a Saw Blade video, you can refer to that in our videos. I have also posted the link below in the description. Now, the tools that you'll need to cut metal: you'll need a saw frame with some saw blades, extra ones just in case you break a few. You'll need some metal with your image on it, either transferred on, which you can refer to in our transferring images video, and you will also need some blade wax, and this is just to lubricate the blade. I'm just using a piece of beeswax, but you can buy specialized burr and saw wax that will work just as well as the beeswax. So I'll get started and show you a bird's eye view of what I'm doing and explain as I go along. We're going to hold our metal in the bench pin in this high area of this V here. You can imagine if we were cutting on the side of the bench pin, the metal would get really floppy and not very stable, and that might cause us to break a blade. So you're going to come in here. Ideally, when you're cutting, you want to be cutting at 90 degrees, but it can be a little tricky to get into the metal at 90 degrees. So what you're going to do is go on a more acute angle, lightly draw down across the metal, and then once you get a little nick in the metal, then you should be able to continue cutting while slowly moving your blade up to 90 degrees. I'm also going to add some blade wax to my blade, so I'll just run it through once. That should be good. And you'll notice that the way that I'm holding this is with my fingers out of the way. You could hold like this, but you could run into your finger and it's not a pleasant feeling. So you're going to hold in behind your cut and you're just going to move the blade up and down. I'm really loose with my hand that's holding the saw. If I put pressure on this and push forward, you can really hear the difference. And in some cases, I can't even move it. So hold it nice and light and keep your arm nice and loose. You're going to be putting the most pressure down with your left hand or your non-dominant hand here that is holding your piece steady. If I don't hold it steady, it's going to move all over the place, and that's going to make it very difficult to cut. So you want to really hold this piece down. Now I'm going to go all the way to the end of this straight line and then show you how to cut a corner. Because the blade is flat, we can't just turn it once we get to the corner, because what will happen is the blade will snap. So I've reached the corner now. I'm just going to add a little more blade wax here to lubricate. And in order to cut a corner, what you want to do is cut a very small amount at a time and turn your piece clockwise as you cut. It can also help to pull backwards on your blade because this edge of the blade is smooth and that way it won't cut forward. So we're pulling back, cutting a little bit at a time, and as soon as your blade is facing in the right direction, then you can start going in that direction. And I'm just cutting this semicircle. So you'll notice even with the curve, I'm moving the metal a little bit at a time as I go. And now you can see I've cut out my finished piece. I'm ready to file and sand to perfection, which will be the next video in our Back to Basics series. From the Devil's Workshop, I'm Melissa. Thank you for watching, and please let us know in the comments if there's any other technique that you would like to see covered in this series.